or to go buy some feminine hygiene products for my wife. Not going to be used for that. My Tundra, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars with it, and that's what I'm going to do with this one too. Today on In the Wood Yard, we got a delivery. We're using my new truck. Yeah. So I have intended on not using my truck for doing deliveries, but this is an exceptionally unique case. Now, there are some people that I deliver to that have very, very hard access for me to get into their driveways, and this is one of them. This is a customer that buys 2 full cords every year of oak, and he's out, and we've had a lot of nights in the last week that have been in the 40s, even in the 30s. And the high right now today is like 47, 48. It's supposed to stay cold the next like 4 or 5 days. And he's out of wood, and he said, "Hey, I'm out of wood. Can you bring me some more, please?" And he said, "Bring it as soon as possible." Well, this was yesterday. He got a hold of me. I said, "Yes, I can bring it tomorrow." And the reason I'm going to be bringing it today is it started raining yesterday. In the morning it rained all day yesterday, a little bit through the night, and then this morning it rained until now, and it's supposed to rain again in a couple hours. So we've had about a 3-hour window here of no rain. Things are starting to dry up just a little bit. And I told him, I said, "I'll come in the afternoon when it quits raining." And so he said, "Fine." Now he's leaving the money under his doormat for me. So if you know where this guy is, that's where it's going to be, under the doormat. But I'll be there before you. I have a lot of my customers that will do that. They will leave me money when they're not around, especially customers that I've dealt with a lot in the past. They know they can trust me. They know I know where to put the wood, and I have good wood, and they don't have to inspect it or anything. Because I have had people I've delivered to for the first time that get there, and they got a moisture meter. And they're like, "I got to test this wood." I said, "Go right ahead." I said, "I test all my wood," and I said, "This is going to all be 16, 17%. One guy had an axe and everything. This was about 2 years ago. He showed up with the axe standing there, and I'm like, "Oh, he's going to check the wood out." And I said, "Pick out whatever piece you want." He tested, I think, 3 pieces, and he tested the outside first, and it was like 14, 15%. I said, "You probably want to split it open and test the inside, because that's what matters." He said, "Oh, okay." So he split a couple pieces open and tested it, and it was like 16, 17%. He said, "Oh, this is really good wood." I said, "Yeah, I told you it was dry, ready to burn, fully seasoned, ready to burn right now." I said, "I don't sell any wood unless it's ready to go. Unless you're buying in bulk and you're buying, a year or 2 in advance, then as long as we both agree that you're going to be drying it yourself, then that's different." So this guy in particular said, "Bring me good wood," and he's always gotten oak in the past. Well, this last winter I ran out of oak. I was down to just a little bit, and I was kind of rationing it between people. I knew people had to have oak because that's all they ever burn, and this guy in particular always wanted oak. And I told him, I said, "I could do a face cord of oak, or a face cord and a half, so half of a full cord of oak. And I've got some hard maple. I think you're going to like it." I said, "It's everybody as good as oak if you want to give it a try." And so that he did. This last load I delivered him probably like 2 months ago now. And so now he asked me, he said, "Hey, can you bring me half and half again?" But he wants just a 1/3 of a cord or face cord. I said, "Yes, I can do that." Now, like I said, I didn't plan on using the truck for any wood deliveries, but he is on like a one-way, real narrow, old downtown kind of street, and his driveway is almost impossible to back into with the trailer. Like it's as tight as it could possibly be. One time I had to go and actually have his neighbors move their cars because I couldn't make the corner at all, because he's on a corner and people park on the corner on the opposite side, and there's just no way I could do it. So against my better judgment, I'm going to be using my newish, it's got 3,000 miles on it already, liking it by the way. I'm going to use my new truck, and I'm going to fill up the bed with a face cord, 1/3 of a cord, and I'm going to put in some oak. I've got some stuff sitting over here on the ground that I split, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, that I know is pretty much dry, so I'm going to put that in. Then we're going to go over to one of the bins where I got some more oak. We're going to put some of that in, and then we're going to go over to the hard maple and put some of that in, so we'll kind of mix it up for them. Now, the reason I don't really want to use my truck is because it's new, number one, and because they get beat up with firewood. If any of you have ever hauled firewood, you know it's real easy to beat your truck up because you're tossing it in from the side. It's easy to hit the side of the truck. It's easy to hit the tailgate, and all that pounding of dropping wood in will, over time, cause dents, causes the bed to kind of start to sag. My Toyota Tundra that I used for 10 years, the bolts that hold the bed on were actually higher than the bed, because the bed had gotten pounded on so much with wood going in over the years, because I used it a lot. Because a lot of times I would load up my trailers a day ahead, get them ready to deliver, and I would load up my truck, and I would go do my first delivery with the truck right away in the morning, and then I would pick up one of the trailers, go do that delivery, pick up the other trailer, go do that delivery. So I had 3 vessels basically to hold the wood for hauling it, and which worked out great, and it still does. But I really don't want to use my truck because I want to keep it as nice as possible. Even though I bought it as a work truck, even though it's not a show pony, I still don't want to beat it all up. I know there's a lot of guys that would put plastic down and line it and all this kind of stuff. I'm actually thinking about getting a rubber mat for the inside of the bottom of my truck. It is a sprayed bed, but I think if I get one of those rubber mats, it would help protect a little bit more. If any of you guys have a rubber mat in your bed of your truck, do you like it, hate it, whatever, let me know. So I'm thinking of doing that because one of my brothers has a rubber mat, and he likes it a lot. He says you can throw wood in and it doesn't dent anything, so it helps protect it. So maybe I'll be doing that too. So we're gonna chuck some wood in right now. All right, there it is. A face cord, third of a cord, a Rickarinka roll or run. It is in the truck. We're gonna go do the delivery. Now, no harm, no foul. I didn't hit my back window and break it. Haven't done that ever in 50 years of throwing wood into a truck. I've had several trucks, plus all the trucks my dad had when I was a kid to load wood. Never broke a window because he told us you break a window, you're paying for it. So I'm pretty careful. And when you throw the wood, if you do a little backspin, it'll fall right where you hit it. It's kind of like sports ball. Backspin will cause it to come back to you. There's that. And some would say, I can't believe you taking your brand new truck that you paid $57,000 for. Well, it was 60 with the tax. And you're going to haul wood with it and throw wood into it. Well, that's why I bought it. It's a work truck. This is not a show pony. This is not something that I'm going to use to go get a loaf of bread or to go buy some feminine hygiene products for my wife. Not going to be used for that. This is for wood, this is for work, this is for hauling equipment. That's why I've got it. Now my Tundra, when I bought it, same thing. I bought that brand new like 11 years ago. I think I paid $33,000 or $34,000 for it. I started using it for firewood right away. Now that truck, in 11 years, averaging somewhere around 200 full cords a year at $360 a full cord. Do some math, it's a little over 70,000 for 11 years. That's how much money I made with my truck. If you can do the math, you can figure it out. I didn't make that much, but that's how much I brought in. Of course, I had other expenses. And the question I have for those of you that say, I would never use my truck for hauling wood and ding it up and bang it, especially a brand new one. You should have an old one for that. Well, I had an old one. Now I got a new one. But you know what? How much money have you made with your truck? Just asking. That's what this truck is for. This is a work truck for making money. That's what I'm going to use it for from now on. I'm going to try not to haul a lot of wood with it in the bed of the truck. Not my thing that I want to do. I'm going to use the trailers as much as possible, but I do know with this particular place, I would not be able to back in. They also have road construction going on, so he said, I got that to deal with. So, like I said, my Tundra, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars with it. And that's what I'm going to do with this one too. That's what it is for. I do not believe in owning a truck just because you can. I believe in owning a truck because you need one, and that's what you're going to use it for, a truck. You know, if all you're hauling is groceries and kids, you shouldn't have a truck. Get an SUV or a van. That's what they're for. I'm weird that way, but that's me. So there you go. Let's go do a little delivery.